Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. So, not a lot is going on this week, so I've already pre-played everything. I needed 5 Tavern Brawls, not super difficult to do. So, all I need now is a Druid or Rogue victory, a Paladin or Priest victory, and 1 Tavern Brawl. So, I need to quit saying so, first of all. The Dark Recipe Tavern Brawl here, they've really trying to push people now to play the Old Gods cards, which honestly I don't think you should. There are some ones in the new expansion One Night in Karazhan for the first week that are probably better than a lot of the Old Gods cards, but they're gonna give you a deck full of them and give you an actual explanation. So we'll play as like the Rogue, and it's going to give you like a paragraph or two, which is something new they haven't done before. At the beginning, just telling you, here's the strategy, do this. Which is kind of nice, and it should have been done like 2 years ago. So that people actually knew how to play these characters. Because the strategies aren't just specific to like Old Gods cards, it's strategies that would be helpful here. So we do our first pick, and we'll see what the strategy is supposed to be here. I've had a significant amount of success doing these things. I was unfortunately awoken early this morning. Cast as many spells as possible. Each one will fuel the reawakening of Yogg Saron. Trade your minions aggressively. Most of them give you an advantage when they're killed, so sacrifice away. So deal 4 damage instead on the first turn. No.
Mind if I roll knee?
Job done.
So let's just quickly go through the stories. Nordic Games bought about 3 games from THQ when THQ went bankrupt. I believe THQ is a Canadian company. Nordic Games probably a Canadian company too. So how much of this isn't really just
You want to buy a funnel cake?
Like rich people playing games with money and bankrupting one company so their next shell company can purchase it? I don't know. But they bought Darksiders, which is of interest to me. They bought Red Faction, and one other game was mentioned. I don't remember what it was. And right now they say they have 23 games in development, 13 of which are unannounced. So Darksiders 3 maybe? That'd be interesting. Obviously, if they're working on 23 games, I think at least one of those would be interesting. I didn't do enough research. I'm falling so far behind time. There were several stories here I kind of wanted to research a little bit more, but like, what are these 23, these 10 games they've announced? Are 5 of them cell phone games or games that are like related to cell phone games in some way? I don't know.
This document looks legally binding.
So that's something like, if 5 of the 10 announced games are cell phone games or games that just don't interest me, that still leaves 5 games in development for potentially the next 4 to 8 years, which is kind of a lot for a game company that's kind of new. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Let's
Signed in blood.
do this.
Here we go.
Job done.
So of the games that are in development. They say the majority of those are from THQ. So, I mean, I can't imagine that you have a 10+ year plan that you're working on games that potentially aren't going to there. Now, development is a tricky statement in itself because it could mean almost anything.
Here we go.
It pretty much just means that you haven't given up all hope. It's slightly different if they say it's an active development, but not by much. These could easily be weasel words. But here they're playing a new One Night in Karazhan card already, which they were given because everybody playing this game, this Tavern Brawl, is given its cards. So
My eyes are open.
I didn't really need to
Here we go.
play. I could have played something different. Oh well. So, with all that being said, Nordic Games has changed its name to THQ Nordic, which then really gets into the whole shell company thought. It's like, how many employees, how many assets were just transferred from one company to the other? I've seen this done in the anime community too. It's a really long story. I'll make it short. To make it short, Japanese people believe, and were allowed to believe, that their
I have no
properties,
time for games.
their videos were worth way more than they actually were worth to the US market. And so people would promise all kinds of sales and owe all kinds of money and get in all kinds of insane contracts with
Here we go.
these companies, and then they would just go bankrupt after releasing a few things and making their money and paying their employees. And particularly this one, I believe that's called like Section 23 or something in Texas, that managed to go bankrupt, get rid of all their debts, and still just sell all the licenses to this new shell company. It's real insane stuff, not worth looking into, but in a lot of ways, that's how a lot of companies work. They accrue debts to make enough money to pay their CEO, to pay all their employees for a while, and then once the debts get too big on the books that they never had any intention on paying, they go bankrupt, and then they make a new company and they do it all over again. Not really that much of a scam, because I imagine that's how a significant portion of businesses actually work.
What to do? What to do?
It's U.S. tax code and U.S.
Wanted,
laws
dead or
and business
alive.
law that's the problem there, not particularly the fact that people are using the system to their benefit. And so I imagine that's what this is, and they're just solidifying that by taking the name THQ, which I assume they bought the rights to, and well, they're going to be in trouble with whoever they did buy. So, next story. No interest in No Man's Sky is how I phrase this. I have no interest in No Man's Sky. Is this even really a story? No. People are still interested in it. In fact, people seem to be getting really tied into it a lot more than I would have even imagined for what seems just like a space version of Minecraft with far less abilities to actually build anything. I don't think you can build anything. You can repair your ship. I watched the entire end of No Man's Sky and it didn't even seem interesting. I like the concept of having a system in which you learned language and had to use that to learn more words one by one to be able to communicate with aliens, but I don't think there's enough there for that to be interesting. I would need them to take out all of
You
the
require my
economy stuff and all of the like actual gameplay elements in the game and smooth it down into something a lot more streamlined
Here we
for me
go.
to play a game like that. So yeah, I'm just not interested in it. A lot of people seem to love it, but I think they just got into the hype, and again, I think it's just a hype thing. One of the things that an interesting article came out, they had a game listing. The limited edition boxes had online multiplayer and a different rating because it had online, and it was PEGI. So this is the this would be
Here we go.
the UK version or European version, and then they put a sticker over it to say no, it doesn't have online. It clearly, at least right now, does not have online. They may be attempting to implement that or patch it in, but right now it's not the case here. Oh man, I'm gonna lose. Darn it. So close. Two people were at the exact same place and they couldn't see each other. I imagine we'll try a different one, and we'll try Druid then. This time. They couldn't see each other. The only thing that's really online, it seems like, is when you upload to the database and rename planets and rename animals. An animal creation system is interesting a little bit, but not anything super special. And then for my final story, at 12 minutes into the recording, the Broken Sword creator, Broken Sword is a point-and-click adventure game that got 4 sequels, so they're even thinking about making a Broken Sword 6. That creator was hired by a new company called Pewter Games. So Broken Sword is released by Revolution Software, except for, I believe, 3, which they licensed to another company, which is a whole mess. Bolster your armies with innumerable minions of the old gods. Swarm the board with small minions to your opponent. Okay. Use the druid's mana generating spells to summon the servants of the old gods way ahead of schedule. Alright. This to play this,
guide my lands.
and then this to play
Guide my lands.
Job done.
and in return so they hired the creator of Broken Sword to write or work on, in some fashion, a new game that's going to come out called The Little Acre. The Little Acre. Yeah, let me just pronounce that right. It looks really cutesy, and it looks kind of cool. It's a father, kind of young father, and a rather young daughter. They go into this magical world, and in the magical world, they're looking for their grandparents, and that's it. Just the trailers out. Several other games are announced, and until there's something I can actually look at, like until there's a page on Steam I can follow, and sometimes they'll announce games and I'll see them and it's not even coming to PC. Although I try to limit my Twitter feed so I only see PC things. So yes, some other things look slightly interesting now. In a year when they come out, who knows? Much like We Happy Few and No Man's Sky looked slightly interesting when they were first announced. But now they don't particularly thrill. Here's Cthulhu, but I haven't powered him up even once. I'm gonna give myself armor
For a loom.
in this case.
For the wilds. Job done.
I think 8 armor over 4 health, 4 attack is probably always the best move unless you're really close to winning. So it seems a little strange that they wouldn't just like make this game from Revolution Software, but obviously somebody else had this idea. Somebody else started this process, because they would have done that. Revolution Software, besides making a couple other games, has only released like Broken Sword games,
For a moon.
also points to an interest there. I would like to see Broken Sword 6, but the two games are actually very different. In Broken Sword, you're a young man in kind of this French romance with, well, you're in France, I believe, in the first thing, with this young lady, and it's going on these Indiana Jones style adventures, which is much more serious than your definitely at a higher risk of dying. I bet you can't even die in the Little Acre if I was to guess.
Done.
But I'm interested in both games. And then that's kind of all my stories here. I am falling apart as far as recording. Assassin's Creed 2 is killing me. The OCD-ness that it pulls out of me is completely not needed right now. I'm probably going to get over 30 hours of recordings there. And because of the way this is scheduled, I may very well have to release it in the September time frame instead of doing Resident Evil 4 or BioShock, and that would probably be BioShock that would get bumped. Maybe I could then start BioShock somewhere halfway into October, but maybe not. Maybe the month after October. And if my main 7 o'clock game isn't even going to be a horror game, then that kind of ruins the connection of all the games being horror games for Halloween month, which is not what I want. Let's see. Steel 2 here.
Job done.
And then in the print, I need this to go up a little bit more. It would have to be at 17 right now to win.
Put this apple on your head.
So I'm enjoying Assassin's Creed 2 though, for as little of a game it actually is. It really isn't a game. There's so much of it missing and replaced with puzzles in the symbols that are super annoying. I've gotten stuck on 2 of them with all kinds of collectible stuff, which are rather annoying too. I wish I could turn down the bass on my headphones. I think I may have to get away from my current headphones. They're just too bassy. It is way too much bass for the line level. And I don't have any way of equating it. I keep thinking somebody's knocking on my door, somebody's knocking on the wall or something. And that is certainly a possibility that somebody actually is knocking on the door, knocking on the wall. I had a thought of a project, but I don't have the time for projects. Of getting a little Arduino computer and putting an on-air LED strip on the Arduino, and then have like a cutout of tinted film that said on air, and then the Arduino would connect using OBS remote to see if I was streaming, and as soon as it was streaming, it would like wirelessly know that
A symphony of darkness.
next turn I win. And that would be a cool thing on air, like lights, are very expensive when I've looked at them, and it would be helpful to
I
have one.
have big plans.
Or a couple, and that's certainly a nice project. I saw another project for soundproofing where somebody did this test and they just took like 6 layers
have
of
big
towels,
plans.
framed them out in the wood square, and then put those towels in the square, and it did a much better job than even the heavily expensive acoustic foam to eliminate reverb and take frequencies out. Which
was a mistake.
unless the acoustic foam was supposed to do something else besides just stop all frequencies, it works way better. So there's the Tavern Brawls done. Now we just need to play a regular thing. Here, we'll open the pack. Get as much dust as possible just to see if we get a legendary. Nope, no legendaries. I don't even know if we got any new cards there. This is a problem with after this newest expansion. If I was just to open 50 card packs, which I'm not going to do, is I may very easily just end up with a ton of dust. Yeah, all 5 of those cards were duplicates. So I have 200, and I think I need more than 200. Right? I don't think I can craft anything with 200 dust. I think I need 400. Flipping through this really fast. Maybe the newest patch fixed this. I don't recall ever being able to click that fast. So, yeah, Assassin's Creed was kind of a mistake, but kind of what I needed to do. Play now as either the paladin or priest, standard, ranked, standard. I've got so many things open, I don't even know which icon. I upgraded to Windows 10, the Anniversary Edition. That changed everything. I probably need to reset my resolution again. It feels like the DPI is not established again. Some of the text even on this game is starting to get a little too small. Maybe my eyesight's going? I hope not, but it's like... And I've certainly had recently played a game, Hand of Fate, that the text was just way too small on that. And I was like, I can't read that. I'll have to go into a different menu and read it. It's like, don't even know. I ran into a bug while playing Assassin's Creed,
The light protects me.
which was quite funny, where an infinite number of guards just kept spawning in the exact same place, and there's this big mass of guards as it was threatening to crash the entire game. And man, I managed to survive it, but I'm gonna post that up as its own little separate thing later.
I fight.
Not on my watch.
Well, actually, I'm gonna post it out of order, so it's almost certainly out now as just its own little glitch video. It's not something I'm gonna go heavily into, but I thought it was kind of funny. Most glitches in games aren't funny. Even that one, at the risk of potentially corrupting the save file I've spent 30 hours on and ruining my game, is not funny. But every now and then something really silly happens. Let's see.
Nothing scares me.
Reporting for duty.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm just stuck on Assassin's Creed, and I need to move forward. And I also have this whole Lego Ghostbusters house that's a side project, and it's probably going to take me at this rate, like 14 weeks to put this together. There's 14 different groups of bags of pieces. It's over 4,000 pieces. It's a huge set. And
Back to
I
your
imagine
homes.
I'll just do like one group every now and then. Like maybe one group every 3 days or so. But I don't have time for it. I mean, it took me an hour and a half to sort just the pieces out and then put together the first minifig. And that was it. It was like way too much time. I was an hour and a half in. I had put together one minifig and I'm like, I really don't have time for this. I'm falling apart. I really am as far as getting footage made. And a big portion of it too is I just didn't and haven't made that progress that I should have made.
Reporting for duty.
I should be 3 or 4 months ahead by now, and I am not. Instead, I chose to do Lego series for kids, which wasn't ever part of the plan. And then I played The Witness, which was an out of schedule extra new game, and I've probably played a couple other games that were out of schedule too. When we do the end of the year review, you're gonna see so many more games were covered this year than last. Well, that's, I don't even know if this is my second year or if this is my finish of my first year. Alright, do I want 14?
Job's done.
There you go. So, almost certainly at the end of the year, I'm probably just going to end up saying
Someday
no more
I'll be
Lego
just
games.
like you.
There's only a few more Lego games anyways, so playing those out is fine. But I don't think there's going to be anything else either.
Mount up!
Even though I did buy a bunch of the point-click adventure kids games, I think I'm gonna put those off for a while. Take a little bit of a break. I'm obviously getting slower, getting older type thing is happening here. I'm covering a ton of things. Still not getting a lot of views. I did get a lot of views for the new One Night in Kozan, but not a ton either. I did an experiment there without changing it to the default One Night in Kozan promo picture, and I think that probably hurt me. I guess next week I'll try it again. Also, all the bosses in the first week were really easy. I think I got through it pretty early. Got them out there.
Is my shield.
Well met.
Job's done.
Looks like I'm gonna lose here too. Well, we're almost done. I think I'm gonna just play the rest of this off screen, even though I played almost all of this off screen. Did all the prep work off screen because I was woken up early. That was a smart move on my part. It's like, if I get woken up early, and it happens to be a day where I need to play Hearthstone, it's not a terrible thought to go ahead and play Hearthstone.
Reporting for
Job's
duty.
done. While doing that. But yeah. Pretty much just gotta power through Assassin's Creed. Fortunately, I seem to recall that Assassin's Creed 2 kind of... This will be funny if it does... darn it. I was hoping maybe that would work in my favor. I shouldn't play as the paladin, actually. I gotta keep these things in mind. If I have the paladin and priest, I should play it as the well, I guess paladin and priest, it doesn't even matter. I got both of those characters to level 60, and I should have played somebody else. Yeah. Do I want to go one more game? Let's go one more game, I guess. Might as well. Again, Hearthstone is an issue too. Eventually, Hearthstone is going to just stop airing on like Fridays or something. Something like that is going to happen because I'm just going to not have enough Hearthstone recordings.
I must protect the wild.
Right
The
now,
light shall
though,
bring victory.
Hearthstone is the most likely thing. Something about the new Windows 10, like, menu. I don't know. It's coming up, and it shouldn't. Unfortunately, I have to stick with Windows 10. I saw things saying that the Xbox DVR service was running. As far as I can tell, it isn't for me. Maybe that's because I never like signed in or ran it, so I'm gonna just leave it alone, I suppose. But somebody said, yeah, it was running all the time, and you're losing frames because of it, which would suck. But I just don't believe it's true. It doesn't seem to be the case.
Oops, I broke it down.
Face the light.
So here's my Cthulhu Priest deck, which is 50% Cthulhu and 50% my old Priest deck. I may have a problem still if I manage to beat Assassin's Creed 2, and then there's just a section of time in between there, in between when I do beat Assassin's Creed 2 and when Resident Evil 4 Remaster comes out, or Resident Evil 4 Remaster is not free update, which they've never said it was, and I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't.
Consider.
Do you hear its call?
So
Listen closely.
that is another thing to consider, is that I may just not record Resident Evil 4 at all, which means some other game would need to be recorded. And if that's the case and I have extra time, I might, I don't know, is this the right move? Should I record some other Halloween thematic game for that time slot, and then like have this extra scary game, or should I record something for November? I think I kind of need to record something for November. And then if it turns out things aren't the way I thought they were going to be, adjust then. Alright. 3.
It's coming.
Face the light.
Job's done.
Listen closely.
I don't know why that's a natural mistake. I heard of somebody else who's not a video game YouTuber, and how they had like way more subscriptions to me, and I'm like, oh man, it's just so random. It really is. I'm certain that's the case. And here, and let's see.
Face the light.
It's coming.
Job's done.
Listen closely.
I might get this victory, hopefully. My Cthulhu apparently doesn't have 10 attack yet.
What you looking at?
One of the things that's proven to be like the worst turn events is that
Do you know the secret handshake?
It's coming!
in Assassin's Creed 2 the music
Listen
in
closely.
certain places gets really, really loud. Even right now, the music to me sounds really, really loud, but frankly, I just have to give myself a bad experience on the audio for it to even sound good on the recording. And then, like, this microphone picks up all the clicks and clacks of the mouse, keyboard, and gamepad. It probably thinks when I rub my foot against the carpet, which means I probably shouldn't have carpet, but how do you fix that? Do you go get a bunch of linoleum tiles and you rub your feet against that? I think that would be even worse. It probably picks a lot of things up. I don't think it picks up as much as I would think, but
I
Probably a
feast
lot.
upon the light. Are you my master?
It's coming!
Outsider!
Listen closely.
so Cthulhu is up to 15, so I could see a victory if I get Cthulhu in 3 turns when I can play him. It's kind of strange there's no card that really lowers the cost of Cthulhu specifically. I think that would have been maybe too much. They didn't want to go both directions with it. They wanted Cthulhu to always be the 10th turn like victory if you get to a 10th turn.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Those minion takes damage.
Time waits for no one.
I bleed for Cthulhu.
This.
This way.
It's coming!
Outsider! Fade away.
End the turn.
Listen closely.
So if I can get Cthulhu and play him, then I'm won. Turn into a random minion. It'd be crazy if this guy turned into Cthulhu. So I've also noticed that like one of the druid things will give you excessive mana, but one of them won't. The one that gives you temporarily 2 mana crystals over 10 doesn't work, which seems like a bug to me. So we're going back to the old days of almost doing 45 minutes. Yeah. I could see how putting more time into it, I could actually record more victories. It's just, yeah, it's not worth it. Combo deal 1. Let's see.
The sleeper has awoken.
Victory for Sylvanus.
Fade away.
So, yay, victory. Now I have to wait a week. I wish I could have gone through all of this whole adventure of one night in Karazhan in one day. I mean, just power through it would have been a lot nicer. But now I have to wait a week, and so every Thursday this month, effectively, I now am focusing on that, which is just another thing taking up too much time. It sucks. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.